Oh, yes. Feeling You with Vic the Brick Jacobs and PJ right here. How you doing, Victor, today?
It's Halloween week with there's a lot of spirits going on, a lot of incantations.
Yeah, don't look behind you. Don't look. You're not going to want to look. You're not going to see what's behind you.
That is Sarah the Enchanted Pumpkin.
She's sprouting.
Part of the house, part of the Zendo, part of the meditation hall here in Whittier, California.
I love it.
And what a fabulous, fabulous week it has been. The World Series is tied at one. Week 8 of the NFL, and of course, the disastrous circumstances for the National Basketball Association
Horrible.
with the crazy gambling
Yeah.
and all the allegations. We'll get into it, but first, we must talk about Yamamoto.
Oh,
Big Yama.
wow. Did
PJ, that
he?
was an incredible performance.
Let me tell you, for Yami to step in, take control like he did, and not only save the Dodgers, had they have lost that game, it was pretty much over, I think. That was a must win. This man stepped in, took control, shut them down totally, a very potent offense, totally shut them down, and renewed our spirits. It's a 5 game series now. Forget 7 games. It's 5 games, two of the games right at Dodger Stadium, right?
Next three at Dodger Stadium.
Three, okay. That's what Chris was saying. Our producer was saying three, and I said, I'm not sure if it's two or three. I know that because they only announced pitching rotation for two, right? You got Glass now
Yes, Glass
and
now and
and
Otani
Otani.
son.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what Yamamoto did was
Oh,
beyond amazing. The Dodger players were in awe after he
I,
threw
I was
his
in awe.
second. When you listen, one complete game in the playoffs
Yeah.
is rare. He throws back to back complete games, four hitter. One of those hits was that error by Freddie Freeman. They called it a hit, but that was
Yeah.
a rare miscue. By Freddie at first base on a pop up. Four hits, eight strikeouts, no walks, 105 pitches touched by the hardball gods.
Yeah. Oh, I
Uh,
mean, it
and the
it doesn't
first
get
inning, right,
better than
PJ,
that.
you analyze, this incredible performance. He threw 23 pitches in the first inning. They were working him. He was in trouble. There was first and third, nobody out. And the great Vladimir Guerrero's up.
Ooh.
First and third, nobody out. Gets Guerrero. Gets the next guy. Strikes out the third guy. Incredible comeback, resiliency. He is blue bamboo. But beyond that, Yoshi Yamamoto is the best pitcher on the planet right now.
I think so.
Beyond the Dodger ace, because forget Snell's performance in Game One. That was a lousy performance by Snell.
Yeah.
That was his Snell from a couple of years ago when he couldn't go longer than 5 innings. He reverted back to that form. But I want to focus on Yamamoto because this was a performance for the ages. It
Oh.
was beyond a gem, beyond a masterpiece, but it's back to back playoff complete games. I mean, that's from another era. You
That's
know,
unheard of.
the
It's
last
unheard of
Dodger to
these
do
days.
that, Oral Hershiser, back in
Yeah.
1988, the great Bulldog,
Right.
to go back to back complete games in the playoffs. Yamamoto was just sensational, a complete command of his arsenal of pitches.
Yep.
And we have to bow down to Yamamoto, if you're a Dodger fan, for putting the
A good
Dodgers
job.
back in this World Series. Because remember, after Game One,
Yeah.
which was horrific,
Oh,
11-4, drubbing, it was a beatdown. And basically, that was Toronto's shot emotionally. Game One, they hadn't had a playoff game there, a World Series game there in 32 years. Everything was going their way. They got to Snell. Then they got to the bullpen, which was a disaster once again. But if you can get, a complete game from your starter, like Yamamoto, that just rejuvenates you, gives you fresh energy. And don't forget about Yamamoto, besides being the best pitcher on the planet right now, did you hear what he did after the game? He goes, to the dugout and cleans out all the trash in the Dodger dugout out of respect for the environment.
he's an
Tradition
amazing person.
steeped in Japanese culture, respect, selfless, humble, cleans out the trash in the Dodger dugout before he went to the clubhouse.
Wow.
That to me just signifies this incredible character, that is Yamamoto.
Well, I wish
And
he'd come pitch at my house because I could use the the help here. Let me tell you. But
so
no, he
Yamamoto
is.
throws the gem,
Yeah,
and again, Will Smith, America's catcher, sensational game. Behind the plate, of course, but offensively hits the home run. He drives on the first run to make it 1-0. The Dodgers had to get off the canvas, the game two, because
yeah,
uh, you know when you lose 11-4 game one of the World Series, I don't care how great you are. The Dodgers are a great team. It's got to hurt a little bit. It's got to
of
put you
course.
down. And to get off first in game two was important. Will Smith 2-out single
Oh,
after the Freeman double makes it 1-0. Of course, Jays tied at 1-1, but then Will Smith seventh inning in a 1-1 game, home run just to destroy the pitch, from Gaussman, and then Muncy another home run to make it 3-1. They tack on a couple more runs, get a little breathing room for the big Yama, and a 5-1 brilliant victory. They get the split, and PJ going back to Dodger Stadium for three. If you're a Dodger
whew.
fan, you got to feel good about your chances.
You have to feel good about it, and I think the reverse of that is had the Dodgers have lost game two, I think you would have had to cash in your chips. I really do. I don't think that in this series anybody can win, every game back to back to back. Both teams are very even, and it's just a tough, tough series, like it would have been with the Brewers. I think that the Brewers gotten in, and I know the Dodgers beat them, so that was impossible. But it would have been the same type of thing. I think they're the same type of team. So yeah, big win for the Dodgers, unbelievable. But it was all on the shoulders of Yami, and I think the one error from Freeman, I saw our catcher just standing there. He could have easily called him off and made that play because Freddie was coming as fast as he could, you know. And God bless Freddie, I love him to death, but he runs in concrete shoes. But so once he gets going, he's not stopping, So he just keeps going. He overran that ball.
It was just a horrific play by Freddie. I mean,
Horrific play.
you
Yeah.
never see it because he's such an outstanding defender. So,
Right.
to see him blow it, and they
Right.
called it a hit, but it was a blunder. But bottom line is, the Dodgers
Yep.
played through this.
They
They
did.
played through game one, which was a horrific effort, by everyone. Because Toronto just that was their night. Toronto got the game one. They got good pitching. They got excellent hitting. And this series. I got Dodgers in six. My beloved bride Yuko Sakamoto has Dodgers in seven.
7.
Uh, how many do you think it's gonna go, PJ, with the Jays?
Well, we got three at Dodger Stadium.
The
You know.
glass now.
They'll win two out of those three. I think they'll win two out of those three.
Yes, that's how I
Okay.
feel too.
Yeah. And then we'll have to go back to Toronto and play there, and they'll probably finish it there. So yeah, I think six. I'm saying
But
six.
we're both on six.
Yeah.
I love the six.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers, again, they got up. You've won 9 out of 10 playoff games, and then you go into Toronto for the World Series after a week off. You're going to be a little flat. I don't care what Dave Roberts says, and I love the sensei, but he's going to say the right things. But I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to speak to you, from the heart and the gut. The Dodgers had no momentum in game one. It
No.
was all Toronto, from the opening pitch. The crowd was nuts, incredibly raucous. It was, oi, Canada. I mean, game
Well,
one was a disaster.
yeah.
When you lose 11-4, I mean, that's a serious beatdown. But the Dodgers bounce right back. They are blue bamboo. They bend. They do not break. Behind Yamamoto's incredible performance, and now
It's
they're tied at two, going back. They got to feel good. And they got Glass now. Hopefully, he reverts back to his last performance. And then they got Otani-san in game four.
and then Snell, I'm sure, will be back up, and I think he'll have a much better outing
Much better
the next
outing.
time, you
And
know.
then if we both say six, and there'll be Yamamoto waiting in the wings with that incredible arsenal and his confidence. And he just, he's the best pitcher on the planet.
The
Listen,
best pitcher.
there's
And
not,
we've
no,
got uh we've got Sasaki sitting waiting to clean up if anybody gets in trouble. So
It was
I
great
feel
not
really
to use
good.
Sasaki. It was great, PJ, not to use Sasaki.
Yes,
He's never been in a World Series situation in that pressure cooker, of Toronto. So it's great they never had to use him the first two games,
right.
especially in game two with Yama going, the 105 pitches, the full nine innings.
Yep.
Letting Sasaki watch, get used to the conditions. So when they go back to Toronto, for the possible game six, and I think there will be a game six where the Dodgers will clinch it there. There will be Sasaki, I think, emotionally ready, clearing the clutter, and he'll be set to go in case he's needed, to close out, the World Series, which is indeed, an incredible task. And of course, don't forget, standing by is Kershaw, but I don't think they're going to go to a high urgency situation with Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
But again, it was disappointing in that game one, PJ, as Dodger fans, to see Sheehan get lit up.
I
'Cause
didn't like that. Yeah, I wondered. I think, everybody forgets he's new to all this too, and I think
right.
that the nerves really got to him, and I could see that he didn't have his usual stuff, and I just think it's nerves, and it's understandable. The biggest spotlight in the world, right? And you're sitting there called in to stop, and he was in a bad situation with the bases full. So it was very difficult for him to operate in those conditions. So I give him a pass on that. I
Same
think
with
he'll do
Bonda.
much
Same with
better.
Anthony Bonda. He got bombed as well.
Yeah.
So we'll give Bonda pay. You give him a pass. Game
Yeah.
one. Game one was Toronto's game. No,
Yeah.
listen, they have an excellent hitting team.
They
Which
play great. They
it's well
play great.
documented. They're a great contact team.
Yeah.
Vlad Guerrero is right now in an incredible groove. Every guy's a tough out. That's why Yamamoto's masterpiece will live on in Dodger lore. Uh, getting them back into the series, giving them the confidence to go back home. With games three, four, five. In the electric ravine. So
Oh,
again, it's a good series.
yep.
But Dodgers are still in the postseason. They're now 10-2 through 12 games. 10 down, three to win to go back to back
Well,
for the first time in 25 years.
we'll be talking about it, and I think it'll be interesting if we get to game six to see if Yami can pull off a third ninth inning run. Wouldn't that be amazing? He
Three,
goes
three,
three for
three, three,
three.
three straight complete games would be
Wow.
unheard
Wow.
of in this time and space.
Yeah.
Where pitching is just such a premium.
Yeah.
And everything's a bullpen game, so maybe we're reverting back to the old, to back in the day times when pitchers
Yeah.
would go 9 innings, throw 120 pitches. It's like Dave Roberts said, he had 30 pitches left in his arsenal. He threw 105. Dave
Yeah.
said he had 30 more.
He had
So
30 more.
I mean, he's so strong mentally. You're going to
Yeah.
be so strong mentally, and Yamamoto is so strong mentally,
You see
physically.
it. Yeah.
He's just a complete package. And again, Dodgers in six. It's all tied up. We got a great series.
Let's go. You
And
know it's
Pete,
not going, Victor, as we change course a little
and
bit. The
I just want
Angels.
to flip. I just want to flip the script.
Yeah.
The Angels
Yeah.
hiring Kurt Suzuki for
Right.
one year.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard, except for the fact that I know that it aligns with their general manager who's going to be fired in a year. He's in the last year of his contract. So I think
Permanente.
Perry, yeah. So I think that's why it happened more than anything. I think they're looking because they're going to broom everybody, but to broom Washington, a great manager who's been ill, and I don't understand that play at
He had
all.
heart surgery. He had
Yeah.
heart surgery. He
Yes.
ha- he
Yeah.
did a he did a fabulous job with a
Yeah.
really horrific Angel ball club. He
Yeah.
at least had them competitive. So they give Suzuki this cockamamie 1 year contract, and they fire Ron Washington, who really is an excellent manager.
He is.
He had multiple bypass surgery. But
It's very
he had
dangerous.
heart surgery,
Yeah.
and you welcome him back by firing him. Angels, it's cold blooded. You see the brick Angels. You have a history of horrific decision making.
Give it to him.
You see the brick Angels.
Give
You
it.
see it. Hey, you great sucking dog me, Ukes. Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love it.
yeah. Artie Moreno, what are you thinking?
He's not thinking. He's not thinking. But that's what happens when you're being bombed they haven't had a winning team since 2014 or so.
Since Sosha.
Yeah, I mean it's terrible. That is a huge run. It's too it's what, 10, 11 years ago. They've had a winning team. They've been under 500 with the likes of Trout and all these players there, and they had Otani-san there. They couldn't do it. So, you know,
They had Ohtani for 6 years.
I
They had
know.
Ohtani and Mike Trout, the two
I
greatest
mean, and
ball players in the game.
you can't recruit and you can't get a winning team going. So this goes much deeper than a guy named Ronnie Washington, as we know. This goes much
Absolutely.
deeper, you
It
know.
goes deep
So
into the organization. It goes to Artie
exactly.
Moreno.
Yeah. That's why I
And
say, Victor, let me write this down. At the end of this season, they're going to broom the GM Perry and they're going to broom Kurt. You know, they,
Suzuki.
yeah, they may bring in Bob Yamaha, but who knows? But Suzuki's out. Maybe Yamaha's in. I don't know what the
Listen,
Angels are doing, but we spent enough time on them. I want to talk about your Giants, who are playing a very tough game. You know,
listen, the Giants have some life. Uh, Jackson Dart is a revelation. You know, Cam Scatterbo, the angry white running back, is a revelation.
yep,
And they now must come back against the Eagles after one of the worst collapses in football history
worse.
in Denver, up 19-0 in the fourth quarter, and to be beaten in such a fashion is so deflating. But they'll come back because Dart is a leader.
Yeah,
Dart can get these guys together. But what's really weird is that the NFL fines the Giants because remember Jackson Dart suffered they thought a concussion
and they
uh,
played him. They
and they
played him.
played him. They put him in the tent, and there's Brian Dable and Scatterbo in the tent checking on him.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it seems that there's a controversy in concussion protocol, and they fine Brian Dable, the head coach, and Cam for looking into the tent. I don't
yeah.
get that.
I don't
You,
either.
you can't check on a player as he's being treated just to see how he's doing. So NFL, really
Yeah,
get a grip,
yeah.
ease up. We understand this concussion protocol, but if a player or a coach is going to, go into the tent and ask how a guy's doing, why is that $100,000 fine? You see the brick, NFL,
There it is.
lighten up. You
There it
see it?
is. Give it to him. There it
The
is.
freaks and cosmukes.
I mean,
Lighten up, man.
I think the coach should have a right to know because
Exactly.
he's got to keep his team moving. Is this guy coming back? He's not coming back. Whatever's going on, there's a lot of plays that have to change. There's a lot of action that has to change. So that was crazy to me. They fined him $250,000. That's a lot of money for
A
that.
lot of
For
money for
a
it's
peek in the
crazy.
tent. Let me tell you.
A peek in the tent.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's it. You
Don,
know,
how you doing? How you feeling? What's wrong with that? I don't get it.
I
Listen,
don't either.
it's a
I don't
violent
either.
game.
Yeah,
There's concussions all the time.
yeah,
It's just, but to find out how your player is doing, I think is fine and
yeah.
kosher.
I do
Uh,
too. I mean it's terrible. You know, it takes they're trying to take all the humanity out of the game. You know, the guy probably really felt for him and just wanted to make sure he was okay. Probably stuck his head, I hope you're okay, whatever it is. But he's not interfering with the doctors. The doctors aren't going to be swayed by him sticking his head in the tent. You know, I mean, that's ridiculous. But anyway, Victor, two big games to talk about. What do you think of these rivals? You know, Pittsburgh versus Green Bay. You've got that, you know, with Rodgers going up against Green Bay, and also the Cowboys and Denver, of course, my Denver Broncos, which are ready to roll.
those
So,
are
I mean,
I
what
would
do
say
you
those are the
think?
marquee games. So
Yeah.
those are the marquee games. Uh, Aaron Rodgers returning to Green Bay. Remember, 18 years a Packer.
Yes.
He's 41. No one gave him a shot this year. We did. We loved Aaron Rodgers because I kept reiterating he threw for close to 4,000 yards with the
Right.
horrific Jets last year. He still
Horrible.
got it.
He's got it.
He just releases the ball quickly. He's fine. He's one of the best quarterbacks still working,
Yeah.
and he's got the Steelers, at 5-2, and it's a revenge game. I mean, he's going to go in. He still has
Yes.
friends in the Packers, yada yada yada, and he says, I love the Packer organization, but he wants to beat the Packer
Of
organization.
course. Of course.
And this is a crazy game. Steelers are top the division, with the Ravens, in the toilet, with all
Yeah.
their injuries. Lamar out
Yeah.
again with the hamstring. today. So, Ravens have problems. They're going nowhere. But the Steelers atop the division. I think no one projected them there, but there they are with Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, and it's a big game. I mean, let's face it, he's the focal point, and
You care to make a call? Care to make
I'm
a call?
I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers
Okay,
at
there you
home.
go. I'm putting you
At home. How
down.
about you? What do you think? I mean, I think.
I am pulling for Aaron Rodgers in that Steeler defense, but I'm going with Green Bay. I think Green Bay's it. I think Green Bay's going to win by 3 points. That's what I think. I see something like 27-24. And I'd love to see Rodgers win though. I'm just saying in my heart of hearts, I think Green Bay will pull it out. But we'll see. It's going to be a really good game. And also the same thing with the Cowboys. That's my team there, Denver. So, Denver and the Cowboys, how do you feel?
Listen, what how Denver beat my Giants last week. They got to be incredibly high as a kite. Uh, they must be incredibly pumped up to come back from that deficit. I like the Broncos as well. The Dallas defense is still a sieve. They miss Parsons. They have no pass rush. They have an incredible offense. Dak Prescott's having a great year. Dak is MVP candidate,
Yep.
but their defense is a sieve. Denver's defense is strong, and they're coming off that incredible comeback win. I like Denver in that one.
Yeah.
And PJ, got to talk about my Bolts.
Oh, yeah. That
What
was
a
impressive.
performance
That was impressive.
to come back. They were in a funk. They
Yep.
needed a big win,
Yep.
and Herbert gets some time finally. The O line, it was in tatters. The O line somehow gelled, gave him time. He's hooking up with this tight end
Wow.
who was really channeling his inner Mike Ditka from 1961,
That's right.
Omari Gadsden. He's a rookie tight end. He's putting up Ditka numbers. He's the only tight end since Ditka, back-to-back games, over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Gadsden's become an incredible target for Herbert.
Hmm.
So he sees, Gaston gets off. Then Vidal, the running back, not our beautiful Bruce Vidal from back in the
No.
day on Kiss FM.
You could never put running and Bruce Vidal in the same
No,
sentence.
you could, but this
No.
Kimani Vidal, 117 yards, a touchdown for the rookie, and they win big, and they win big, and
Impressive.
and they
Impressive.
needed to go 5-3, and it seems that's going to be I believe a pivotal win because Joe Alt should be coming back soon, for Jim Harbaugh
Yep.
and the Bolts. But
Yes.
that was a dynamic win for the Chargers to go 5-3,
And
and sensational, just a
they needed
sensational
it.
win. They
Yeah.
listen. You lose 3 out of 4. You got to come back in this league. But
Yeah.
it
Oh,
just
yeah.
seems so many teams are 5-3. You look at the NFC West.
Oh,
Rams 5-2,
yeah.
Seattle 5-2, 49ers 5-2. I mean, there's 3 teams 5-2 in one division.
I know.
So they all
I know.
seem playoff bound
Yeah.
at this point. But they're going to eat their young in the division. They'll beat each other up. But still, it's a very impressive division, the NFC West. That
Is it time to start asking, are the Raiders going to win a game?
wow, wow, 31-0, and then Kansas City called off the Dogs.
Oh,
They
yeah.
called it. I mean, they just second
They
half.
could have gone 55. They could have beaten them 55.
Easily.
Yeah.
This team is Pete Carroll. Who could have projected such a horrific start?
No.
After
Yeah.
beating New England,
Yeah.
in the opener,
Yeah.
uh, to look this horrid. But it's a long season. If anyone can turn it around, it's Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
But Geno Smith's having a season from hell.
Oh,
Uh, you know,
no
um,
confidence. He's playing with zero confidence. That guy, Gino has, as we both know, a ton of talent, but I've never seen him lack confidence like he is right now. He just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, and we know he does know. So that's a confidence thing. Hopefully Carroll can get him back on track. Who knows? We'll see about that one. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. Well, what we really have to see about is the Lakers because they look awful.
first game was very forgettable. Game
Yeah.
two was actually an incredible rebound from game one.
Yes. Yeah.
To beat Minnesota by 10 at home. First game against Golden State, forget about it.
That
Uh,
was terrible. In the NBA, the whole thing was starting 10 minutes late, and that whole thing
oh,
made that experience just awful from start
yeah,
to
game one for the Lakers was a learning experience.
yeah.
Golden State, as a collective, obviously more time together as a team, and really that third quarter from hell.
Oh,
The Lakers have a lot of issues with third quarters, but it's I'm in a moment, and they beat Minnesota by I think 10 or 12, whatever it was. Luca has 92 points in 2 games, PJ,
he's
43 and 49.
yeah,
He has 92 points,
yeah,
you know, basically setting a Laker record matched by the great Jerry West for the first, couple games of the season to go over 90 and close to triple doubles in both games. But what I liked, with Luca, we're taking him for granted because he's a superstar. I love the insertion of Marcus Smart
yes,
playing that defense, diving for loose balls. We haven't seen that in a long time. I think
no,
the last time I saw a Laker dive for a loose ball was Shaquille O'Neal back in the
yeah,
early 2000s. I mean, they don't dive for loose balls. They don't play defense. Marcus Smart will hold you accountable to play defense. Not, obviously his best days are behind him, but he's still got that dog
he's
in
got the
him.
hustle.
He's got the
Yeah.
dog.
Yep.
Marcus Smart is a smart defensive player with a lot of passione correspond.
Yeah.
And I liked seeing that, and that's going to help. And DeAndre Ayton had a good game. He had a horrific game one. Game
Yeah.
two, he came
Horrific.
back, and Ayton is the key. They defended Minnesota inside. Remember, 27 and 24 for Rudy Gobert in that deciding game against Minnesota in the first round of the playoffs when the Lakers got blown out last year.
Yep.
Gobert was held to like 7 points, 4 points. I don't know. But they defended Gobert. They defended McDaniel down low. And they played well as a team. They rebounded. And they played collective defense. They stopped the Ant. They stopped Anthony Edwards. That was an excellent game. Listen, I'm not going crazy for one game. But after the game one disaster, PJ, as you said, you got to feel good about the Laker performance. But what happened to NBC in game one?
That was horrific.
I
That
mean,
was
you go
horrific.
10 minutes late on the opening game for the Los Angeles Lakers. NBC, hire everyone at TNT. What are you doing? You see the brick.
There it is.
NBC, get it together with
They
your
earned it.
coverage. You see it? There your freaks. Gong me, Ukes. Opening night television disaster.
Disaster. It was like the
Disaster.
Titanic
Oh, man.
between the Lakers playing and the CBS rolling 10 minutes late. That was a game that could have been played on the Titanic, and all
That
that
would
would have
never
been
happen
left.
with TNT. Would
Yeah.
never you don't
No.
schedule 2 games like that on opening night so close together. Number one,
Well, and I think that's part of it. I know CBS is obviously used to basketball games, but the whole shift to from TNT and everything, it messed them up somehow. They got messed up, but I think they'll be on it. They're professionals. They'll
they'll
come back.
bounce. They'll bounce back
They'll
like the
bounce back.
like the Lakers bounced back in game two.
Woo! Yeah, did
And,
they? Yeah. And
and
but we got it's time to go, but I got to ask you about the Clippers because will the Clippers, do you think the Clippers are just too old to run with these guys now?
oldest team in the NBA,
Yeah.
but they have so much talent. I mean, when you
They
have
have tons of talent.
Chris Paul's coming off the bench, you got
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, you got Lopez, added to Kawhi and Zubac and Collins. They have a good looking roster, but yeah, it's old. There's no doubt. But
Yeah. Yeah.
they can
It
play.
feels old.
T.
Feels.
Lue's an excellent coach, but we have to talk the public relations disaster that hit the
Oh,
NBA. The illegal gambling
yeah.
with the alleged mafioso
Yeah.
ties.
Excuse me, I don't want to interrupt you when you're talking about, but yeah, $50. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then, Rozier fixing games in 2023 as the Charlotte Hornets, with the under on a rebounding, and he takes himself out of a game. And of course, the bets had been, piling on before the game that he was not going to hit those numbers.
Yeah.
They do an investigation,
Yep.
and Rozier was allegedly, in on some not so kosher stuff. This suddenly puts Adam Silver in the NBA in such a compromising position, but they got to have an all-out probe and get rid of the garbage. But PJ, when you have invited the gambling sites
Ooh.
as part of your identity, as the NBA have, You have to now realize, gambling is so prevalent. It's prevalent not just with you know you know gamblers, but your league is now under the threat of gambling.
Well,
They make so much money, PJ. They make what's an extra $50,000 to these people?
it's
Why? Is it
nothing.
the thrill of the gamble? But you're risking, millions and millions and millions of dollars in salary. Look at Rozier. I mean, he had like a $47 million contract coming up, and you risk it for what? For a few $1,000s on a bet. Number one, gambling. It's not. It's illegal, people. It's illegal, fellas.
Yeah, it's
Ladies,
legal.
it's
Yeah, but
illegal.
when you invite them in, like you said, Vic, and you invite them in, and now it's become part of the revenue base of the NBA and the NFL and everybody else. This is, part of the revenue base. There's the danger because then they've got their foot in the door, and they probably should have never allowed that. They should have kept that off on a different platform. But now they've got their foot in the door. And these guys, like you say, they don't need the money, but they need the thrill. See, it's about the thrill of it. I mean, even look at Pete back in the day, Pete Rose betting. He bet on himself, but he was betting. You know what I mean? It's the thrill of the bet. They don't care about the money. I mean, Kobe Bryant would stand out there and chat. If somebody said anything to him, he'd say, I'll bet you $500,000 I can hit this basket. And he meant it because it's not the money, it's the thrill. And so I just think it was so dangerous to make the revenue base part of these leagues. And now nobody wants to admit it, but they have a say in what goes on. So they're gonna have to, I think it's gonna have to be a clean sweep. They're gonna have to get the broom out and they're gonna have to really do a clean sweep here. Otherwise, fans are gonna start to wonder what's going on with these scores and games. And that's when you really get into trouble. That's when you really get into trouble with the leagues and you get people thinking, oh my God, are these games fixed because there's so much money at stake and whatever? Is this player not going to play his hardest? Is he going to find out that so and so is injured before anybody else? All that stuff, it raises its ugly head. This is what happens when you open the door to revenue-based sharing like that.
Pandora's box has been opened.
Yeah,
It's been opened, and we can't close it.
yeah,
And I feel for the kids, watching the games. I'm a
yeah.
purist. I'm a purist. Be it basketball, football. I'm a pure sports fan. To see it tainted like this is a body blow to me.
Terrible.
I feel like I've been punched in the face and the body and just knocked out. Uh, Listen, illegal card games in the San Fernando Valley with Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Famer. Okay, that's ugly because there's cheating involved. But with this mess with Rozier and Damon Jones, the former unofficial coach of the Lakers giving out injury information on LeBron James.
Right.
Also, you can't have this tainted stuff
No.
around your league, any league. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
So Adam Silver's got a long road ahead of him. He's an incredible communicator. He's a great lawyer. He's led this league to amazing riches, grown the league internationally, nationally. He'll find a way, but they've got to act now, and they've got to clean this mess up as quickly as
Quick.
possible.
Quick. Yeah.
Because it's a body blow to the league, it's a body blow to sports. And
Yes.
it must be cleaned up, PJ. You're right. This is just a horrific,
Has to
horrific
be.
shadow.
Yeah.
Now floating over the association.
You don't want it to keep floating. We got to hopefully by the time we come back on the air, they're going to have some answers to this. But we got to thank our amazing staff, Chris Donovan, our producer,
Chris Donovan, the
Ukes
ones
on
and
the
twos, the
gong, your
best.
lovely bride. 23 years. Congratulations on your wedding bliss. 23
Thank you,
years.
Yuko Sakamoto, and myself. 23 years
Yes.
of
Yeah.
beautiful bliss,
Yep.
and I would be nowhere without Yuko. She is my Tamashi. She is my soul.
That's it.
She is
And
everything to me. And we also want to thank Dave Cardona, our graphics master, DC. Tremendous job.
and I want to
And
thank Sarah behind you because
oh,
she's outstanding. She's
she is an incredible spirit. Sarah the pumpkin. We love it. Everyone have a great Halloween, a safe Halloween.
yes. Halloween trick or treat. Talk to you soon.
A feeling you. Yeah.